So I'm going to talk a little bit about the monthly co-curricular activities. These are the mandatory activities that we do as part of the program, but they're also really fun. So basically what they are is Greg and the team put together a scenario. So a couple more things like the pebble mine that went up in Alaska, or that might go up in Alaska, that happens to potentially interfere with salmon populations. Others were a really cool, for me, farm bill thing, where we all took different sides of a particular argument, and then we, in a structured way, kind of debated with each other. And so the idea of the curricular activities is to take an issue of sustainability that's not necessarily has an easy answer, and to really think about who the different actors are and what are the stakes and what do we think about them coming from our backgrounds. So it's a really great experience where we get to really talk to each other, but everybody comes in with a different idea or perspective. Probably one of the biggest takeaways I got from the program was just a broadening of my perspective and a better understanding of the challenges that we are going to face, and I think a little bit of excitement about facing them.
Right now, I wanted to start with my eyes are bigger than my stomach, and with these interdisciplinary projects, from day one you will feel like you want to do everything and you want to basically change the world in 12 months. You're going to go into it. I think the biggest thing for me and my team could easily channel this as well is that defining the scope and finding something that you're passionate about but really pushes you outside of your comfort zone, so that you're tapping that into your own strengths and passions, but also into some new areas, was really the opportunity. Things that are most important as you go through it is, one, ensure that you have diversity in your team. Looking back, I can't think of a better team. We've got everything from SRA to urban planning to engineering to business, and we were dealing with subjective well-being in an urban sustainability setting. So it really taps into these different areas, because I was always challenged in different areas, and using things like the buddy program or the buddy system helps keep you accountable. And that leads into the second thing, is staying organized as you go through it. You're kind of going into radio silence for that whole year, and you need to be accountable to your team and to what you're trying to deliver to at the end, no matter how small you might think it is. Trust me, you'll think that you can do everything. Well, it's not that long of a time, probably be about 11 or 10 months by the time you get through it, but staying organized as you go through it. And then the thing that I think we didn't do as much, but I was really glad to still be able to do it at the end, is find time to actually get to really know the folks that you're working with and do it on a social level.
So I think there's kind of two ways to think about how to form a team. One is to think of something you're really passionate about, you know you want to do a project on, and then start emailing people, getting to know people at the events, and setting up a lunch. Like anyone interested in forestry. The other is just to find people you want to work with, form a group, and then talk together about what it is, finding an interesting project, maybe with certain characteristics. So we want to do a project locally so that we can actually meet people, or we want to do a project internationally. Schools have very different team experiences. People have vastly different expectations of how a team works. So from the beginning, I will talk with your team about what they expect, how often you want to meet, set up the regular meeting time, set up different team roles, and this will come naturally to some people, and will be entirely new to other people. And don't expect anyone to do anything over the summer. You will be ambitious, and you will want to plan to do it. You will not actually do it.
Free food and talk with these really awesome, smart, interesting people around you who have entirely different both academic and life experiences, and kind of to just chit chat about a sustainability problem. That I found this to be honestly one of the most worthwhile parts of the program, possibly because it wasn't required. And so the people who went were really, really, really invested in the program, invested in issues, invested in kind of the chance to get the most out of getting to know all of their fellows.
I should say that I'm a humanist, and as such, I'm invested in issues of the spirit and culture. So those of you out there that are into the party, and you can organize the party, and you can bring the party, bring it. The party is really important because you're going to be working really hard. And as important as it is, after the mandatory sessions, you find time to work and meet. You guys really need to hang out. Hanging out is how you're going to find the people that you wouldn't necessarily know, and how you're going to discover, like, hey, I really like you, and I would like to have these conversations with you, and regardless of whether or not we are going to work on a project, I'm going to talk with you for the rest of my life about this. And that's the point, right? That's the point. That's why we're here. That's why we're dedicated to this, is because this is a community. And you have to be very active about community building. So, hang out. Hang out along. I'm also a humanist invested in issues of institutional critique, big words, meaning that I'm really interested in the guts of sustainability. And I'm really grateful to Greg and to Neil for opening up an opportunity to visit Dow headquarters. And I think it was an incredibly important experience to see the insides of major stakeholders in this conversation. I can tell you it changed my life. It actually changed the way that I see things. It changed what I'm doing in Michigan. You should do it. You should see the inside. You should know what's happening. You should know, as Neil pointed out, I mean, your iPhone is 90% made of Dow product. We're all in this. We're invested, and it's complicated. And there's no better way to understand how complicated it is than to go to Midland. And why not? They were open, they were kind, they were transparent. I'm really excited to meet all of you. I'd like to be completely accessible to all of you if you ever have any questions. I know that the other fellows feel the same way. And I encourage all of you that when you're forming teams, when you have questions, please call on us, talk to us.
Expectations of the amount of work I was going to have to do on the project was much lower than I actually put in. So go in eyes wide open, and it goes back to like what you put in is what you're going to get out. But
Not just, I feel like I'm going to leave Michigan not just with my law degree, with my natural resources degree, but also with, like maybe like a miniature certificate in art design, maybe a miniature certificate in business or whatever, just because I've had a chance to interact with these people with different academic experiences and with different life experiences and with different internship experiences, and kind of, absorb what they have to offer and to really kind of take that.
I have to stay hopeful too, because I have a lot of faith in humanity, and I know some people don't, and that's cool too. But I think it was very inspiring to see how passionate people are about this, and how much people really care about these issues and are willing to put themselves online for these issues. And so I came away with hopeful as well, just because
on things, and so that's sort of where I'm hopeful on the opportunity, even though all these issues might be really daunting, sort of plugging away and getting to those small wins and just sort of eating away at the issue little by little is where you can start to get a little hopeful, even though it might seem like the polar vortex has come together.
The passion that this group had for wanting the opportunity to share with the incoming group their experience was just overwhelming. So you did a great job. Thank you so much. I'd say feel free to continue to linger and have discussions if you're able to do so. Please try to introduce yourself to folks from other tables if you haven't had the chance to meet them. It's going to be very important, particularly for the new cohort, to meet new people and as quickly as possible start talking about things that interest you in sustainability that are potential project topics. So these kinds of opportunities when we're together frankly don't happen enough. So take advantage of. Thank all of you for coming, and best wishes for the new year, and please stay safe. I think the sidewalks are probably exceptionally slippery now, and obviously the roads are going to be slippery, so please take care going home tonight.
This is going to be usable bike season.